Hello students, it's Mrs. Prey again, your junior high librarian, and today I'm going to talk to you about how to create a very basic comic strip for any of your classes. You could use this for a project, you can use it to summarize a story, you could use it for to talk about theme, or you could use it to study vocabulary, or you could also use it to practice any foreign language words that you're learning in your Spanish class if you're new to Spanish, or in English as well, or in French. Just depends what you're learning. The website is, we're going to start here. I'm on a MacBook, but I'm using Google Chrome. So I'm going to come to the address bar, and the website that I want to share with you is www.make, and you see that it's auto-populating here, MakeBeliefsComix, COMIX.com. Press enter, and it gives me this very beautiful blue background, and it also provides a sample comic strip of what it could look like. I like the layout of the page. It looks cool, looks animated. So if you look towards the bottom center of the page, it says enter here. Also, if you're doing this for Spanish class, it says comience aquí, but everything that you will get, it will be in that language. And if you can see, it's Spanish, French, German, etc. So we're going to do it in English. Enter here, press enter here, and you're going to it's going to take you to a blank canvas, if you will. So let me just talk to you a little bit about this page and what you're looking at. You have the title up here. It says create your own comic. It's easy. You have a place where it says name your comics. And I could put, let's see, finding, or, library hours, something like I want to use it as an advertisement. You could, if you belong to a club, or if you, belong to, or you play a sport, you want to promote your sport, tell people when you play, invite them, or get them to play sports at school. That's also a good thing. Author's name, you're going to put your name on here. I'm going to put W. Prey. And if you look at the right hand side of that square where it says author's name, it says getting started. If I click it, it gives me pointers on what I can do to begin. It talks about embedding characters. It talks about using the scroller below, which is this one here where it says our diverse cast of characters. If you look, there's a red rhombus, or diamond, if you will. I'm going to call it a rhombus. You can move it to the right, and you see all these different characters here. What I like about it is if I click on any one character, say click on this lady, if you look at the left side, you get a selection window where you have an arrow pointing to the left or right, and it shows you, if I click on the arrows, the different looks that she has. So it looks like she only has about 4 different looks. But every character has different looks that you can see on the left window here. It also tells you about this section over here where it talks about, towards the right, backgrounds, objects, and words that you can embed, action words, into any comic square or a panel. We have a 3-panel comic strip here. You can pick words that are already defaulted on there, things that are pre-made, or you can click on a shape and embed your own word or input your own word. That's fine. Let's talk about this section down here. I know clicking on getting started got us to look at characters, the different versions of the characters. But I also want to talk about this area below the diverse cast of characters. You have different balloons, and if I click, you'll see that in the selection window you'll get that preview so that you know what you're looking at before you embed it into your panel up here. So we have, with the dialog box pointing, the arrow pointing to the left, pointing to the right. Then we have and these are very big dialog boxes, and so then you have a middle-sized one pointing to the left and right, and then you have a smaller one left and right. So those are your You have an even smaller one there. So you have 8 different talk balloons. You have 8 different thought balloons. They are the same. They just differ in size. You have panel prompts, which are little rectangular boxes that you put on the top left, top right. If you've ever read a comic book, they are the things that say meanwhile, after that, and while this is happening, and or tells you about location, tells you about time. These are transition words that have to deal with time, depending on what your comic strip is going to be about. Then on the right hand side, I'll click on there just so you could see suddenly, to be continued, the end, or you can type your own, which is excellent. On the bottom right hand side, you have 3 different options. You have words to select from, objects, and backgrounds. And this icon tells you. You have icons on the bottom right, words on the top left, and in the middle you have the background. Now if I click on that, on the left I automatically see a background. If I keep pressing the right arrow, it shows me different types of backgrounds. If I keep going, it'll transition to the words. I'll go to the other side, it'll have the objects, but we're going in through every option. So these are words that you can pick. If you keep going, you'll go through different types of words. Then these are the objects, just depending on what it is that you're putting in your comic. You have all these different objects. Just want to show you the diversity of this, or how different it is, how cool. You have so many objects to choose from. And then you go back to our first image, which was a background. So you have that to choose from. Then you have the background colors. You can choose green, and you see the panel filling up with color. I'll go back to white. There's different colors there. And then the last option that you have there on the very bottom right hand corner is you have different panel choices. And this depends on how developed you want your comic strip to be. You can have 2 panels, 3 panels, or 4 panels. I'm going to change it back to 3, but you have those different options. I also like that all of these red tools are help tools. They give you a little description of what you can do if you get stuck. It explains, what happens, the character went away, I don't know what to do, I pressed something, I did something wrong. So it'll help you troubleshoot or figure out what the problem is, and then it'll help you correct it. So I'm going to close that. On the left hand side you have other different options, but these come into play when you already have objects on your comic strip. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to choose let's see, library hours. Look to see if there's something with school. There it is. I like that. Maybe I'll have 2 characters talking in a hallway about when to go to the library. Maybe one of them is new in school and one of them is not. So I'm going to choose this lady here. Or maybe I could use this one here. This one looks fun. See, there's different options. I mean, you could do anything. You can do black and white. You can do, we'll use this one. Well, and if I click on that image, he comes up on my comic strip. I hover over him, click, and move. Right click on a mouse with a PC, or you double click the pad on the MacBook Pro. So let's say that he is the kid in school that knows everything. I want him to say something, so I go into my talk balloons. I want to make sure it's something small. Go back here and kind of move him down. What I did there was went back and clicked on the characters so that it could help me move it. I'm going to move them down a bit. There we go. Make sure that I'm doing it right. I'm going to put another student in there. I'm looking and I'm looking. You could even make animals talk, or, personification or something. Let's see if we can get her in there. Oh, that she looks worried. Let's put her in there. And then I'm going to show you how to resize these, because when you resize them, they're too big. You want to make them smaller, kind of, proportional or proportionate, to the background. So if you look on the left-hand side here, I want you to make sure that you've clicked on that character. Then you're going to click where it says scale. And if you see the little square becoming a bigger square, then you click back on that character and you see this vertical line with the rhombus. If I go up, it makes the image bigger. If I go down, it makes the image smaller. So I'm going to try to make it so that she's more or less proportionate to the other character. Now I have to click on move if I'm going to move her from one place to another. I don't want, if you don't click on move, the object won't move from wherever you want it to go. So I'm going to put her here. She's at her locker. She's worried. She's new. She doesn't know what's going on. I'm going to make her think something. I'm going to make her, I'm going to click the balloon. There you go. It's perfect. Perfect. It says click here to write the words in a language of your choice. Oh no. I don't know where the library is. I don't know where the library is, and I need to borrow a book. I'm just going to put, and I need a book because I want all the words to fit. And I need a book, period. And then I want him to say something, like you look lost. So remember, you put the little dots if they're thinking something, and it's an actual arrow if they're saying something. So I'm going to click it, and then I'm going to move it up here to this guy, and I'm going to say, hi. Can I help you? Question mark. See? And I've already done my first panel. When I'm ready to move on, I click on the other panel. I'm going to pick probably the same background. I still want them to be in school. So I'll click that, and you know what? I'm going to click on my third panel, and I'm going to pick the same background because this short scene takes place in the same area of the school, has the same setting. So make sure you pick, and it'll highlight it in red, you pick the panel you're working in because that's where your objects are going to go. I'm going to put a panel prompt. I'm going to go in there and I'm going to put I'm going to type my own, and I'm going to put later that day. I'm going to put her there as well. And I'm going to make her come out like that. Go over here, make her smaller, click her. Do the same thing I taught you before. Then I'm going to move her. Then I'm going to make her say something. Notice that when you learn how to do it, it just becomes a little bit faster. Double click that. Oh, I put 2 extra ones. Made a mistake. How do I delete it? I come over here to the trash can, press delete, and then click the thing that I want to delete. Go to the trash can on the left hand side where it says delete. Click on what I want to delete. Drag it here. I remember, or I can say something like, where is that